I will speak, I will make my presentation in Russian. I would like to talk about intellectual property and also commercialization, traditional knowledge, traditional indigenous people knowledge. The world is changing very quickly. It's getting more humane, but alongside with that, it loses links to the systems that support life. And we can observe that there is crisis in health, in biodiversity, instability of systems. For us, indigenous people, those are not new processes. Our systems, our knowledge system throughout generations are based on understanding of interlink between human beings, nature, everything that goes outside the measurable world. And we are talking about balances and loss of balance. It's not something that is rooted in the past. It's our present. It's an issue of the present. That's why it's absolutely impossible to think about health of indigenous people without our systems, because our traditional knowledge is the basis for health system, ecological governance, and intergenerational cohesion. It's a simple example, a very little example that I would like to run by you. I was present at a meeting with our very respectful people, our midwives, and the important system, the important factor that was presented there, that everything is interconnected. Food systems, languages, how the mother would eat, what she's going to eat, what language she's going to use, how her baby comes to this world. Everything is going through our traditions. It's so close that sometimes intervention is kind of not needed. But those are alive collective systems. They are linked to language, to land, and to biodiversity. That's where we see the lack of cohesion. Modern regimes of intellectual property and commercial models, they do not provide any protection. They fragment it, so they just break it down to pieces. Knowledge becomes individual. Knowledge is far from the person who is the carrier of this knowledge, but our knowledge, our traditional knowledge functions in a different way, because when we use those models, we don't see integration. What we see a gap, and it's a global process. We can see it today. Our knowledge is seized. They think, they come, they take a look, they learn from it, and then they will be able to use it. But traditional knowledge comes from the roots, from the heart, from the soul, from the fingers. So it is something that we feel. We feel when we transfer it to someone else, when we heal someone. Not everyone understands that. For some reason, people think, technical progress will substitute absolutely everything. And no, it's not like that. Very often it happens in pharmaceutical systems, in bioeconomics, and it's very important to call a spade here. Because it happens without the agreement, without exception, without any just distribution of benefits. Traditional knowledge are taken away from territories, from governors, from cultural contexts, and they turn into a commodity. But it relates to our health, because it's not. We're not talking about separate elements. We need to talk about cohesion of the systems. And traditional knowledge, when they are commercialized, where they go into pharmaceutical system, then the health system is weakened. And also when food security is not observed, when it's broken, we cannot use it for the benefit of the people. The basis of the health is being destroyed. So that's the result of commercialization. That's why it weakens our determinants, health determinants. If health is an integrator of the systems, so current practices of intellectual property, they act as a mechanism for deintegration. What they do, they actually break the links between governance, health, and our territories. And we see what happens because the intergenerational transfer of knowledge is weakened, and as a result of it, our health systems are weakened. It's not a separate issue. It's not a separate legal issue. It's the issue of rights and system justice. If we talk about health of indigenous people, and if we think that these systems should be connected, there should be cohesion, it cannot exist without our systemic shift. The traditional knowledge should be accepted. Our right to manage this knowledge should be accepted. And commercial mechanism cannot be determinants of our health. And the framework for determinant is becoming a responsible tool. We are responsible for what is going on with us, what is happening to us. And it allows us to see how this cohesion works, intersectoral cohesion, how to connect local to global processes. Without this global frame, without global meetings, we will have gaps, and we need to bridge those gaps. And when we meet, we want to share our opinion. We want to make a decision. We want to influence, impact other systems, and actually own what we have. We want to own our traditional knowledge, and we want to transfer this traditional knowledge. Thank you.